Hi, Dr. Zhao. In this demo video, I'm going to show you how your application works like in the epMotion. Here I have 5075 VT, which means they have a vacuum manifold and the TMX module. You can see this is the vacuum manifold. In the future, uh, for the 5075T, you just don't have this vacuum manifold. Rather than that, you have two position and two position in here. Right, but I'm going to use this for the demo. Here you can see this is a thermal block for deep well plate, and here we have two deep well plate. Both of them are 1 mil. This one have a ring magnet at below, and this one have a cap. So I use this deep well plate as a cap holder. I have 800 microliter of water in the first two columns. So today I'm going to do 16 sample demo. This top, I use it as a waste top. The B2 position top, I use it as a medium source. And the C2 position top is used as a cap for the B2 position. And we have 1000 microliter tips, filter tips here. And this is the TM1000, which means they have a channel, 1000 microliters tips, and gripper there. So here, this is a clean cap system, so you can turn on the HEPA filter. This is the clean cap, and you can turn on the HEPA filter during your processing to avoid any contamination issues. Okay. So I'm going to run it. So this is the epBlue system. What you need to do is just click on the epBlue catalog, and then here you can turn on the HEPA filter, but I'm not going to turn on today because they will make some noise. This is the volume parameters. We will detect the volume because we're going to detect how many volume of medium we have in the top one, and we're also going to detect tips because I'm not going to put the entire tip box. As you can see, that we only have the first 5 columns of tips, and I'm going to show you how we use and reuse the tips. Right. The first thing they will ask you is how many samples you have today. So I key in 16. For the sample plate, I have about 800 microliter of solution here. So let's start it. The first things epMotion will do is to check the lab wear placement. So first thing, they are going to check the 1000 microliter tips. So they want to make sure this is the 1000 microliter tip box, and make sure they have filter inside. And next, they're going to count how many tips are there in this tip box. The second thing is going to check the lab wear on A3 position, which is the deep well plate with the cap. And now it's checking the top with the medium. And right now it's checking B3. So they say something's wrong with BC, so let's check what's going on there. probably the deep well plate doesn't place it well. Yeah, pass the scanning. So they need to be accurate position, otherwise they will aspirate in the wrong well or inaccurate position. So right now it's checking the waste top, make sure there's enough space for dispensing the liquid. I'm checking the thermal rack. So right now it's checking the tools. So since we have 800 microliter of medium in the well, so I'm going to transfer 700 every time, dispense it. And you can see that we put it back in the tips where we get it up. And then now pick up the second column of the tips and aspirate the second column of sample. So they will remember where they put the tips and where they take the tips. And then they will reuse the tips that corresponding to the sample position. So right now the third column is the tips we're going to use for dispensing medium. So here we dispense 700 microliter of medium back to the well. So in this processing, we only use 3 columns of the tips. First 2 columns is going to use aspirate out from the sample, and the third column is going to use for dispensing the medium. That's it. So you can use per tip box you place on the epMotion, you can use up to 88 samples you have. So it's like 80 samples refill and 8 tips for placing the medium. So right now they put the deep well plate to the TMX module, and next they're going to put a cap on it. And let them vortex at 30 degrees for sometimes. So today I'm going to show you vortex at just 30 seconds. And right now let's put the cap, another top on the top we place medium. So use it as a cap. So right now it's vortex at 300 RPM for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, we're going to remove the cap and put the deep well plate with the samples on top of the magnet. So first they move the cap on the medium. So these can prevent any contamination issue during the vortex. And remove the cap on the deep well plate. And right now put the deep well plate on top of the magnet. So here I use ring magnet for just demo. In future, if you're going to use a column magnet, we can make a definition for you. And the process is the exactly same. So here I only wait for 30 seconds to let the magnet pull down the potential beads inside the medium. And we can adjust to any time, for example 4 minutes, 5 minutes of beads pulling down. And after that, we're going to aspirate 700, another round of 700 microliter medium from each well to waste top. And you may notice that it just take the first column for the first column tips to the first column of the samples, and second column of the tips to second column of the samples. So they won't have any contamination issue with using these tips. And the dispensing is at the top, from the top of the well, so the liquid will not touch the samples and cause any contamination issue. As you may notice, this system still have plenty of space for put extra tips. So in future, if you have any concern about tip contamination issue, we can put more tips on each location, and we just change tips every like 2 or 3 times. We can set up like changing dispose those used tips every 4 rounds of aspiration or 4 rounds of dispensing, so they will reduce the contamination possibility. So right now they put the medium containing deep well plate through the thermal block to heat up again, and also put a cap to cover it. So if you feel this shaking motion is too slow and your cells will precipitate at the bottom during the vortexing, you can increase your vortex speeds. And I check the cap on the deep well plate and shaking under around 1200 RPM, and the cap will still remain there for an hour of shaking, so don't worry about that. So I give another round of 30 seconds of shaking on TMX. And finish shaking. So they remove the medium cap. Remove the lid on the deep well plate. And move the deep well plate to the on top of the magnet. Pull down the beads. So for the aspiration speed, we can adjust. So right now, the default setting for water is about 50 millimeter per second, and I change to 3 millimeter per second. So it's relatively slow now. But if you feel the aspiration speed still faster than you expected, you can reduce to about 1 or 2 millimeter per second. And in this case, they won't disturb the beads at the bottom or on the column near the magnet. So since I only do 3 rounds of demo, so there's no step after this. So the epMotion will throw out the tips because we use these tips. They don't want to contaminate the box, so they just throw these tips away. And this is the last round of dispensing medium. So let's finish the round. And then we'll put the cap back and then vortex again on the TMX module. So first put the medium cap, which is another top, the small top on top of the big top. So first put the deep well plate back to the TMX. Put the lid back on the deep well plate. And put the small top on top of the big top to cover it. And we finished. So this is the demo for your experiment design. So right now it's vortex for 30 seconds, and after that they will stop. In the future, if you're going to shake it for 48 hours, you just need to put enough medium. The epMotion will calculate the medium for you. For example, if you want to replace every 3 hours and the total time is 24 hours, so you need to prepare medium for capable for 8 rounds. If that's enough for 400 microliter, 400 ml top, then you can put enough medium there, and they will use liquid level sensors to detect how many liquid volume you have in the top. And if you don't put enough medium inside, the epMotion will tell you that you don't have enough medium, and you just need to put more. In the future, if you need 2 top, we can put another top on different position and use it to hold your medium. So that's it. Please contact us and let us know what you think about this application. And if you want me to do some modification and do the demo again, I'm very happy to do it again for you. Thank you.